Today we are going to introduce our new project car, the Speed 3. The Mazdaspeed 3, for those who don't already know, is a feisty little hatchback with a turbocharged 263 horsepower 4-cylinder mated to a 6-speed transmission. It's won many shootouts, including Car and Driver and Road and Track in their hot hatch comparisons. Usually the only complaint was the amount of torque steer that tries to rip the steering wheel out of the driver's hand. The performance specs were impressive for its day and still are. 0 to 60 times in the mid 5-second range, quarter-mile times in the high 13 to low 14-second range. Don't let your Fast and Furious knowledge fool you. These times are pretty quick. The handling was great too, with a factory limited slip differential, allowing the car to pull 0.9 Gs plus in the corner. Needless to say, it's a nice hot hatch. I started to look for one and finally pulled the trigger on a 2007 model. It was a GT in true red with a two-tone black interior. It had nearly 150,000 miles on it when I bought it. The driving impression was great. It's a peppy little car that handles like a charm. She took to West Virginia's winters like a champ, never letting me down, even in the roughest conditions. I drove her for a bit before the mod bug bit me. Before buying it, to be perfectly honest, I should have looked at the car a little bit closer. The car was in very good condition for being over 10 years old, but there were a couple things wrong with it. The first clue was when I was driving at home and my wife spotted some smoke coming out of the exhaust. Now, these cars are known to smoke due to a poor design in the turbo, so I thought nothing of it. There was also a clunk in the suspension that usually means the struts are going bad, or the end links and the sway bar, but after checking for excessive play in the end links, I think the struts. After having it for a couple months, I was really enjoying it. There were certain things that were wrong that are common for a used car, like the battery needed to be replaced, the starter went out, and so forth, but nothing major. I checked my oil one day and found it to be very low. I had recently gotten it changed and thought they flubbed up by not filling it. Turns out my car was going through an excessive amount of oil, and that was very worrisome. The smoking was getting really bad, and it looked like a diesel rolling coal when I really got on it. After troubleshooting it for a while, I found out the turbo was bad. And before I replaced it, the misfire started to happen. I would get on it and it would stumble all over itself. No power, just bad stumbling. By this time, the turbo was pouring oil back through the intake in the engine. It would foul plugs and worse. It was then, I guess, that the VVT pulley decided to give up the ghost and leave me stranded on the interstate. Well, now that you're all caught up, you see what's going on. This is a really neat car, and I'm dying to autocross it and see what it can do. Come along on the journey to bring this fun little car back to life and take it out racing along the way. Stay tuned for future episodes as we replace the VVT pulley, the turbo, and much more. Thanks for watching RH2 Racing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.